Okay, we have enough people to get started. We're a couple of minutes late, so we will get started. If you have phones or anything else that's noisy, please mute it or at least attenuate it down. We'll begin as we always do with an invocation followed by a pledge. If you wish to join, please rise.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we begin this Maundy Thursday in this Holy Week, we thank you for the gift of a new day and the promise that your sacrifice holds. Fill us with hope and strength. We trust your plans and rest assured in your promises. Today, during our business and as we go about the rest of our week, please guide our thoughts, our words, and actions. Give us strength and resiliency to face any challenges that may come our way, and help us to live in a way that honors you. In your holy name, amen.
Amen.
Recite with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
He's still here.
There he is. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Bell. Curran.
Here.
Freeling.
Present.
Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman. Ott.
Present.
Pitchford.
Present.
Tyler. Borath.
Here.
Werfel.
Here.
Yarborough.
Present.
Elliott.
Here.
You have 11, and I believe Tyler's on her way.
Thank you. Minutes from a week ago,
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the minutes on 8-10.
moved by Freeling.
Second floor.
It's tight. Supported by Pitchford. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, have we communications?
Yes, we have 2 Southwest Michigan Tourist Council, 50 free spring activities for the families. Email was received on 4/10, and then an email concerning parking use at the county, and email we received via email on 4/16/2025. And then just a quick reminder, we want to do closed session minute approval as well.
Okay. Well, we're going to get into a very pleasant but somewhat time-consuming item on the agenda. Why don't we approve those minutes right now? The minutes that were circulated during the closed session and the workshop, I haven't heard about any issues with those. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Moved by Pitchford. Is there support? Supported by Harrison. Any discussion? We'll waive roll call on that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those minutes are approved. What was the date of that meeting?
February 27th, 2025.
Okay, the minutes from February 27, 2025 are approved. All right, now, the next item is Dispatcher of the Year Awards. Caitlin Samsel's here. This is something we always look forward to. I see the undersheriff here as well. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. The undersheriff is our chair of our 911 advisory board, so he will be doing the presentation of the award. But just briefly before he does that, I want to thank you for having us here to honor our telecommunicators that are present with us and those that can't be present with us. Some of those are working on the dispatch floor right now. Commissioner Freeling's invocation calling on strength and resilience, I think, is very indicative of what these people do every day in the face of challenges. So thank you for those words today as well. I'm going to turn it over to the undersheriff who's going to do our presentation.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate this opportunity to recognize the 6 individuals that were nominated for Telecommunicator of the Year. You know, this is a critical task to help coordinate resources throughout the county, oftentimes when lives are on the line. And what makes a good dispatcher or telecommunicator is willingness to help people, active listening skills, good communication skills, the ability to multitask, to be criticized because everything you do is recorded, and to work that 24-hour schedule. And when people need help, they need help right now. And that just drives a very busy time followed by downtime. So it's kind of like a roller coaster working this profession. And I will say that we are very fortunate to have talented people in these positions. So I'm going to go through the nominations right now. And first up, if you're present, if you could stand, Keith Lehman from Niles. Here's his nomination. Keith's a dispatcher with Niles that works the night shift. He started in 2023. He's finished his probationary period and all his training with high scores. He adjusts his hours, so he's a team player with other members of his team. He answers 911 calls, non-emergency lines, and is unique that he takes walk-ins and has to deal with individuals that come into the department. He conveys professionalism and customer service through active listening skills, offers sympathy and firm direction when appropriate. He remains courteous and respectful to their clients. He works solo for many hours on the night shift, and on November 29th, received multiple calls of a fully engulfed structure fire, and through his quick dispatching of police, fire, medical, and utility resources, prevented and limited damage to nearby structures. And we are very thankful for his dedication and service to the Niles community and the dispatch center. Thank you. Next nomination is Sarah Blurton, if she could stand up. Sarah completed 25 years with the Dispatch Center and Sheriff's Department and retired December 27th, 2024. She consistently strived to improve her skills, provided input to streamline dispatch operations, mentored fellow employees, and was a role model. Sarah never hesitated to take on difficult tasks and was willing to jump in and help whoever needed it. Sarah improved the training program and strengthened it for both the trainees and the trainers. And she was very respected by the first responders, myself included, for her knowledge, professionalism, calm demeanor, and her ability to anticipate what first responders needed before they asked for it. Sarah's impact is everywhere in the dispatch center, and she made it a better place. Congratulations on your retirement, and thanks for doing such a great job in those 25 years. Thank you, Sarah. Next up is Audrey McCreary. On June 4th, 2024, the dispatch center received a call from a female from Cloma reporting some suspicious activity. Audrey remained on the line with this caller for over 90 minutes. And this was a challenging call. Audrey developed a rapport with her and provided critical information to pass on to first responders. Despite the challenging nature of the call and the unfortunate ending, Audrey displayed remarkable empathy and dedication to her role, offering support to the caller while ensuring that vital information was accurately documented in the call for service notes. She strives for professional growth. She embraces new responsibility with Team Connect a group designated to welcome and support new dispatchers to their roles. She's a training officer. She develops and presents training material on a variety of topics, demonstrating her initiative. She actively participates in community outreach, public education projects outside the center that further exemplify her dedication to improving public safety. Audrey's compassion, professionalism, and commitment to continuous improvement makes her an asset to the team and the community. Thank you. Cheyenne Bond.
Is at work right now.
She's been with the Dispatch Center for 2.5 years and handles tough situations with ease. On May 8th, she coordinated fire and EMS teams to a structure fire in Niles Township. And even when a Mayday was called, a fireman had fallen through the floor. Cheyenne stayed calm and kept things running smoothly. She was also a dispatcher and took a call, third-party call on October 24th of 2024, when it was reported that there was a suspicious situation, possibly an active shooter situation at Lakeshore High School. This led multiple agencies to respond and work off one of the talk groups. Cheyenne managed a great amount of incoming information from callers and from responders as they de-escalated the situation. She efficiently managed additional resources for assistance, monitored the channel, and diligently kept up with her call for service notes, ensuring that the critical information was documented and communicated efficiently. Cheyenne's ability to stay focused and maintain control during a high-pressure situation highlights her dispatcher skills, her dedication to supporting first responders in critical moments. Good job, Cheyenne. Christina Salem. On June 13th, she provided exemplary service when the 911 caller reported her vehicle was stolen. Christina initiated a search of the license plate, coordinated through other resources, and provided that information with local officers, which led to them coordinating with other resources and locating the vehicle in just over 2 hours. Christina also was recognized for her exceptional performance during a commercial structure fire on September 15th in the city of Benton Harbor. This was a critical and complex incident, and she played a key role in managing the execution of the call box alarms and the tanker plans, remained calm and clearly communicated information that ensured the right resources were deployed in a timely manner. In addition to those responsibilities, she's a union rep and advocates for her colleagues, and she's an officer in charge. Christina's exemplary mapping skills and proficiency with GPS tools consistently assists in locating 911 callers to ensure that first responders get to the correct location. She's an avid animal lover and takes initiative to monitor social media to help reunite lost animals to their owners, that further showcase her dedication to the community. Good job, Sean. And the winner for the Telecommunicator of the Year is the last person nominated, Christina Burks. Christina Burks demonstrates exceptional leadership during several critical incidents in 2024. On August 27th, she efficiently supervised the storm response in the South County, coordinating fire, police, utility companies, and the road department to address widespread damage. On October 13th, she managed a dual critical injury accidents within the same jurisdiction and overcame resource challenges to ensure that those were handled well. And on November 2nd, 2024, Christine was recognized for outstanding coordination during the double shooting in Eau Claire. Her ability to manage large-scale incidents and run UIC channels effectively highlights her remarkable skills. Christine has been appointed by fellow supervisors as the dedicated note taker to recap meetings, and she consistently brings lists of questions and concerns to the group to get clarification and work to align procedures so that everybody's on the same page. Christina is also a strong advocate of celebrating and supporting dispatchers throughout the year. She takes the lead in organizing events for Telecommunicator Week, dedicating time, effort, and arranging prizes, gift baskets, and most importantly, food to show appreciation to team members. Her thoughtful planning and inclusive approach ensures everyone feels valued and appreciated. Additionally, Chris organizes shift dinners and invites public safety partners to participate, fostering stronger connection between dispatchers and first responders. Chris also excels in monitoring new telecommunicators assigned to her shift, and through her guidance helps develop the necessary skills to gain confidence in their roles and ensure that they are well prepared for success. Her leadership, dedication, and commitment to the team makes her an invaluable member of the department. Congratulations, Chris Burks, on Telecommunicator Week. And I would also like to thank Director Caitlin Samsel and Deputy Director Jennifer Flick for their leadership and continued emphasis on recruitment and embracing new technology. Good job, the leadership.
Can we do a quick picture? Yeah.
Just before that, I mean, everyone here is appreciated, valued. It's a shame there's one only, because I think everyone would qualify. I mean, you were on the phone 90 minutes with someone, and that's remarkable in itself. I've heard about the animals being reunited. Heard that from somebody else, maybe our own department, but in any event, you're all outstanding, you're all appreciated, and we're lucky to have you, as is the public, since you're so much a part of public safety. So anyway, my 2 cents worth. So.
Thank you so much.
So
Can we have?
You're good.
Yes. Do this. Okay, I'm trying to. Yes, can we have everybody come up? thank you again for allowing us to do that presentation. We're really honored that we get to honor some of our staff and our dedicated telecommunicators throughout the county, both in Niles and in Berrien County Dispatch, every year at the Board of Commissioners office meeting. We really feel that we're called to be present, to be competent, to provide that link between the community and public safety. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. And we recognize that people have places to go, things to do. We take no exception. If you want to leave now, we'll pause for a minute for anyone who needs to be on their way to something else. Other than people around the horseshoe. Thank you. Okay, we don't have any added resolutions, so the consent calendar is just what's shown on the first page of the agenda. Are there any comments about the resolutions? Because we're at that point where we would receive public comments about the resolutions. Looks like there's approximately 10. All right, that means there aren't any comments. So we'll move to the consent calendar. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar as submitted? Moved by Bell. Is there support? Supported by Pitchford. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Curran,
Yes.
Freeling.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman. Pittsford.
Yes.
Tyler. Yes. Borat.
Yes.
Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell. Elliott.
Yes. Okay, committee reports, and today at the top of the list is the Personnel and Human Services Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met this morning and had a number of action items for us. First was an approval of an advanced step hire request from the friend of the court. We did approve that. We had several resolutions, one for the Personnel Collective Bargaining Unit for Animal Control, as well as the monthly per diems. Those were reviewed and approved. We also had, we have a report coming from HR periodically regarding vacancies by department. So we reviewed that, asked several questions, and that went well. We had the privilege of having Guy Miller with us from the Health Department. He gave us an update on a number of issues affecting the Health Department. The one that that seems to be topical is the reduction in funding to the Health Department as a result of action at the federal level. And so it related, there is some reduction, but it's not significant at all. And it was COVID related funding. So since COVID, we've been continuing to reduce our efforts in the COVID realm. So it really is no issue for the Health Department. He also gave us an update on a number of the other events they've co-hosted, and like the change in the infant car seat requirement from the state of Michigan. And so he had two resolutions for us to consider. First was application to the Berrien Community Foundation for a grant to support ladies, women, new mothers doing breastfeeding. So it'll be encouraging nurses to get that training and certification. Then also renewal of our beach monitoring funds from the state of Michigan for testing of Lake Michigan water for E. coli. And for a good grant is $15,000, and the beach monitoring funds is up a little bit from last year. That's at $18,000. So then we had a discussion about the IT policy that was acted on the consent agenda. We've got some suggestions that we'll be working with HR and administration about that will help clarify for our employees how not to get in trouble violating the policy. So had a good discussion about that. We also had the presence of our chairman and our administrator, talked a bit about J-Works and some of the issues with that. And then that pretty much concluded all of our activity.
Questions for PHS?
One question. What, do we have a total number of openings that have to be filled? You said you met the
Yeah.
HR director. What's the total on that? How many
Actually,
are
I didn't focus on
Oh,
that,
okay.
but
I'm just
I'm gonna hand you the report here
Oh, nice.
when I'm done talking. Okay.
I was just curious.
All right, next on the list is admin.
Thank you, Mac. First in to see us was our county prosecutor, Amy Bird, and Commissioner Ott would like to report out on that.
Oh, let's see here. Amy stopped in for us. Now they were awarded a $40,000 grant, which is to be used for awareness for safety and storage of firearms within the home. And she brought up something interesting that in the spring, a lot of people just store their weapons in their cars, and you see a bigger impact of guns on the street because of vehicles being broken into, which I thought was interesting. And the grant is going to be used on all of the local, I think she said 7 airways, radio stations to get the awareness out, and through paper and things like that. So she just stopped in to let us know they were awarded, which is a great thing because we all know the gun issues in our area need to be addressed. That was it.
Thanks, Alex. In that same vein, the resolution to go along with what Amy was telling us is ending in 4204, and that is to receive the funds. And she wanted to let us know that there were, out of all the counties, there were only 5 grants awarded, and we were one of the 5. So she was quite proud of that. After Amy was Dan Fetty and Mark Heiliger, who talked to us about applying for wetland mitigation credits. So this resolution, it's 4197, is the one that was discussed with us. It's basically where if the road department has to traverse wetlands, they have to obtain credit for however many feet, acres, whatever, that they're going through the wetland. So this would create a bank that the road department can rely upon to take care of any kind of wetland mitigation. It does not cost the road department nor the county any money. It is it's the Michigan Wetland Board for Local Transportation Agencies. They are the ones that organize all this. They are the ones that approached us and asked us to do this. There's a lot of parts and pieces to it. Dan did a very good job of explaining it to us. We can use those 20 acres of credits really any way we wish. We could also, I don't know, sell them, give them to another county if they wanted to. The 20 acres that they're talking about here, 10 acres is in Van Buren County. The other 10 acres is actually in Berrien County. And exactly where that property is, I'm not sure. I think Dan was going to find out exactly where it's at in Berrien County. After that, Brian was in to see us, and Mark as well. The gentleman who owns property adjacent to the Orchards Mall, who Chokwe has talked to previously, that issue was brought to the administration committee and we discussed it. It has to do with access to the Orchard Mall that we have closed off. He owns the property that used to be the Texas Corral, and I think he's asking us to open that access back up. So Brian is going to prepare a letter that will be reviewed by the administration committee and then provided to this gentleman basically with our answer. In the meantime, Brian also needs to talk to, and will talk to Benton Township because they have a little stake in this because it's the Orchard Malls, and see what they could do there. So that's all on that topic. We do have one other resolution for you, ending in 4205. This is to enter or approve a contract between us and MDOT. We do these all the time. It's a federally funded project. It's Cleveland Avenue from Glendora Road to Snow Road, and that is a hot patch 2-inch overlay. And that is our report.
Questions for admin? Madam Chair of Finance.
Thank you very much. Our administrator Dissette and Chair Elliott talked to us about J-Work. They'll bring more reports as it continues. Our clerk, Stacy Laura Porter, came to us, talked about the annual report, and also requested a resolution be put through on our next meeting. And it's to raise the fees for our vital records. And as she looked through things, she saw where we had not had an increase since 2011. So effective June 1, the new fees will be raised for marriage license and all that, but it's still not a lot. And then I was pleased to see that the senior citizens, anything that they get is $5, and it was $5 and it still is. So those will be put into effect June 1. Dan Fetty came and talked to us, and it was, there is a resolution. I have a number of resolutions. Dan Fetty was bringing a resolution regarding Berrien Bus. And what it is, it's money to buy 800 megahertz radios so that they can be connected with everything. But we got the money last year, and the equipment will be put in soon or this year, or is it in?
Yeah, we have to
Yeah.
have an agreement with the state to be able to operate the radios.
What did you say? So,
You have to have an agreement with the state in order to operate the radios on the 800 frequency. And so this is that finishing step for all of the work that we've done last year.
okay. And then we had no, and I'm going to tell you what the resolutions are, but we had no bids or waivers. And what we're asking for, well, one came out today. What is this one? The auditing report. This is to pay the bills. We have an auditing report covering the time frame from April 10th to April 16th in the amount of $1,226,961.92. Then the road department's accounts payable vouchers are $232,266, and those will be put through today. The others are for April 24th. One is for the Berrien County Public Transportation Berrien Bus, but we were just talking about the 800 megahertz radios. One is for soil erosion and sedimentation control, and that will go through April 24th. And then the one to raise the vital records fees for the county clerk's office will go through also April 24th. We accepted the minutes. And was there anything else?
I would just like to say, as it relates to the vital record fees, by increasing them slightly, it puts us more in line with where other counties are at in the medium. And so I think that our clerk gave us lots of good justification for why it needed to be looked at and to help to offset some of the costs of doing business, because it has increased since 2011, so.
Okay, thank you. That's my
Questions?
report.
Thank you, ma'am. Questions for finance? Okay, commissioner reports going clockwise.
Yesterday I attended the Berrien County Mental Health Authority meeting. We received our quarterly auditing report. Things are good there, so that's good. We received our CEO report, which Rick Compton talked about how the cuts going on at the federal level is likely to affect our clientele and the people that we serve. about 90% of our clientele are on Medicaid. So with the cutbacks, that's going to greatly affect the services that we render. So we're
procedural. We submitted our 990s, and as usual, that organization is in great standing. Some of the federal changes and some of the things happening with tariffs are impacting them slightly, but I don't want to go too deep into it. It's just they have contractors and people that they work with, and the cost of doing business is going up right now. I was put on the executive committee, so after being on that board for 3 years, I really love the mission and vision of it. And I think that they're having a great impact, specifically with all the investments they've put into the city of Benton Harbor with the water situation. So it's been great serving on that board, and that is my report.
I also attended the Brownfield Authority and we received an update. And according to Dan Fetty, he believes the modern plastics project should be done by the end of summer. The Speedway project, there has been no communication and it doesn't seem like that's moving at all. The other item is that this will be the first time he is putting together a Brownfield fee schedule. That's all for my report.
After last Thursday, attended the BC Bit. Big shout out goes to Kim Feddersen for all the work she did on getting those support letters out. And I'll leave room for the chair to comment further on that. Also, Southwest Michigan Planning Commission, they had their audit. Audit looks good and went over their work plan. So everything looks good at Southwest Michigan Planning Commission. And that is my report.
Hey, Jim. To the board, so Jim just gave a shout out to Kim Feddersen for her work on helping with the BEAD applications. So as just a reminder to the board, a total of 10 support statements was needed to get maximum points. How many did Kim note that were?
80?
Wow,
So-
80.
that's great.
But I was leaving room for you and Terry to say that because, yeah, she just, her contribution to that was just outstanding.
Wonderful.
Really?
How many do you get before they take points away?
81.
81,
Yeah, thank you.
I attended the CEO meeting down in Buffalo last week, which was nice, and that was it.
No report other than I'd like to point out that I had 2 people stop in my office in Bridgman, and not to complain, but they were very thankful for the internet services that they now have access to. They thought they had to stop in and say hi, and they were very appreciative that the county got them internet. So I just thought that was great, because when you see people coming in, at least into my office, with what's going on down there at the road work, it was great to have positive feedback, especially on the internet service. So I thought that was great.
I also attended the Chamber's CEO Council down in New Buffalo, and then I had communication with Representative Slaw regarding the speed issue, the bill that's currently being considered by the House of Representatives.
I attended the planning commission this week and Jim covered it, so not much more to cover on that. I had a great trip for those that are interested, and learned that not only do Germans like a lot of beer, but the Irish people are like, hold my beer. We got this. Hold my Guinness.
Yeah. Be specific.
It's only Guinness.
Yes. Commissioner Curran mentioned about BC Bit, and the application for BEAD did close on April 9th. We met on April 10th. Absolutely continue to just give accolades to Kim, because that was not only was it 80 letters, but she also did such amazing customer service to the internet service providers to make certain, because each letter was individually addressed to those internet service providers. And so she kept them organized, kept the communications going. And it was really just nice to see that efficiency and effectiveness happening between all of the municipalities. I still don't know how many applications were submitted for Berrien County, but I do know pre-registration, there were 5 ISPs that had stated that they would be applying for addresses within Berrien County. Overall, throughout the state, I think it's something like 193,000 parcels that were eligible, that were applied for out of 392 applications in total across the state. And this is just round 1. And so we will let the state wade through all of the paperwork that they've been inundated with to see what success might be. So more news to come on that. And as it relates to the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission meeting that I attend with Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Warple, they had rolled out not only their 2024 annual report, which can be found online, of the work that they had done, which they highlighted some of the work they did on broadband, but also the 2025 work, overall work program. These are the objectives that they'll be focusing on in 2025 and kind of the guide rails of what the organization should be focusing on and working on. And that information is also on their website. So if anybody needs help guiding you to it, just let me know and we'll make sure that link gets forwarded through Brian in communication. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. I attended the CEO meeting last Friday, and it was just a really good meeting and a big meeting. I don't know if they probably count, but whatever. And what was so interesting to me was to see how communities and different levels of government are working together. St. Joe city manager was there, and she talked about the parking, and they were asking questions about how will that work and whatever. And my thought was, and when I got a chance to speak, I talked about how the county is allowing parking in our parking lot on the weekend, that, you know, all kinds of things are coming together. So it was just a really good meeting. The food was very good. It's from a place called Mario's. It's in Sawyer, or you all know it, whatever. So it was just a lovely day. Yeah. And I thank you so much for passing these out. When I remember, give them to Jim. And I'm asking you all, if you can, to come to the rededication of the Charles Yarborough Park. We had my husband's celebration there, and so many people had never been to that park. It's right on the corner of Empire and Riverview Drive, right at the St. Joe River. And they have built bathrooms, and it's in a cinder block building, so it's gonna always be there. And when they try to put those portable toilets, sometimes people would turn them over. But I've driven by there and you see the mail truck and different deliveries they need to go somewhere. And so this is a building that's just magnificent. I can't push it over anyway. But they put new picnic tables and chairs and worked on, and the roof on, and they used to cry about this, those blue roofs. But the building they built matches the coverage that's closer to the river. So if you have a chance, and if you can't come to this, and sometimes just turn in there and see what it looks like. Thank you.
Thank you. So I remember being there.
Yes.
Bob was there 3 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see what it looks like now.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
No, nothing, sir.
Okay, general public comments. Anyone wishes to be heard? The microphone's up there at the little podium. Name and town if you wish to opine.
Town. Hey, township,
It's
Belcher.
a state, they say.
Yes, sir.
Now, and if some of you were watching, I went to Western Michigan, and guess what? And they won the ice hockey, whatever they did. It's not the World Cup, I know, but pretty good. And I was the only one applauding when he announced it somewhere. Now, I got some questions, you know, when you guys give your reports, we ought to be able to question what you guys are doing. You know, you're leaving us out. Like when you're talking about this, well, I got a comment on that, or I got a comment on that, or whatever. No, that's called democracy, you know, which you guys don't practice here. You can see that because you're hiding in your little room right here. Kindergarten room, that's what you're hiding in. Okay, now, I got this from, I think all of you got it. Now, I used to watch the guy play basketball. Now, he's a little bit older than me, but now we had a real good team. I think Chet Walker played with him too, if you remember him. No, so this is it's worth it. Now, another thing I'd like to talk about is, you know, people walk in here and this is a little dinky room. They don't even know what this room is for. You got a sign out there? No, but, well, yeah, that thing, whatever you put up there, that's not good enough. Put a little board up there telling the people that what's going on in here. When you're meeting, you know, not so many people know that you're meeting here at 10:30. That's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peltzer. It's always good to hear from you. Does anyone else wish to be heard? Going once, going twice. Okay, public comments are done. Other business. I guess we don't have any announcements and reminders, which we'll do before we go into closed session again. We are closed tomorrow for the Spring Friday, for Good Friday. And then we'll be back to business Monday morning. But I don't know of any other announcements or reminders. Are there any meetings this afternoon? Okay, then we need to go into closed session. And when we come out of closed session, we will be taking action. So this isn't the last item on our list of to-dos for today, but the closed session is for purposes of conferring with counsel and to review a memorandum that was prepared under the attorney-client privilege, which is exempt from discussion or disclosure under MCL 15.268. I think we talked about that earlier, but it's a different subsection now. It's parens 1, parens H instead of 1C. So with that level of detail, which is way too much, is there a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make that motion with what you said and not repeating it all.
Okay, is there support? Okay, moved by Volrath and supported by Pitchford. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, we will need a roll call for this.
Curran?
Yes.
Freeling? Yes. Harrison?
Yes.
Hinkleman? Pittsford?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Borat? Yarborough? Warfel? Bell? Elliott?
And we will be shutting down the Zoom, even though we will be briefly coming back into open session after the closed session. But anyone out there on Zoom, this will be it till next Thursday.